Why do we wake up tired, even after what should have been enough sleep? It's the kind of question almost everyone asks themselves at some point. You close your eyes, hope for a fresh start, but morning greets you with that heavy, slow feeling instead. What's really happening while we sleep? And why isn't it always enough to restore us? If you've ever opened your eyes and wondered, is it just me? You're in good company. So many people quietly wake up with the same puzzle. Strangely, the deeper you look, the more complicated it becomes. People used to think that more sleep was always better. But, as science reveals, sleep can be unpredictable. Just when your routine seems right, you might still feel drained. It's a gentle kind of riddle, and tonight, maybe we unravel one piece together, finding unexpected threads that connect us. If you're listening in the quiet of your own room, you're far from alone. Hundreds, maybe thousands, of people tune in at the same hour, carrying the same secret question about their own tired mornings. The real comfort might be this sense of hidden company, the gentle reassurance that someone else, somewhere, is wondering alongside you. And maybe there's a smaller whisper, a little anxiety. Is something wrong with me? Have I missed some hidden trick to sleeping well? The world's full of fixes and advice, but sometimes the comfort is in stepping back and seeing how universal this is. Your tiredness isn't a flaw. If anything, it's proof you're part of one of the oldest mysteries we share. Before we get too deep, can I ask something? If this story helps you feel a bit less alone tonight, you can hit subscribe or tap like. It's a small way to let me know these questions matter to you too. And I'm genuinely curious. Where are you watching from? And what time did you wake up today? Share it in the comments. You might find plenty of fellow travelers just as sleepy as you. Take a moment. Let your body settle into wherever you are right now. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Let your muscles soften. If you want, close your eyes. Notice your breath moving in and out. Imagine your thoughts drifting slowly, like leaves on water. There's no goal here, but to be present for a few gentle minutes. For the record, nothing in this video is medical advice. It's just a space to rest, to wonder, and to find some comfort in the questions we share. If anything you hear makes you uneasy, talking to a professional is always a wise option. Sometimes, just voicing a worry out loud can make it smaller. Ready? Let's start slow. Just breathe, and let's see where this story of tired mornings takes us. Why do some nights seem to patch us back together, and other nights slip away, leaving us just as frayed as before? If you've ever crawled into bed after a long day, only to wake up feeling like you hadn't slept at all, you know the difference is more than just hours on a clock. So, let's begin this chapter by searching for one answer, gentle and honest, to a question everyone's body asks for them. What is restorative sleep? And why is it so hard to capture? Imagine for a moment that sleep is a journey, not just a switch that flips off the lights. Every night, your mind and body pass through distinct landscapes, some familiar, some hidden. Science has mapped these territories into cycles and stages, beginning with the shallow waters of light sleep, where you might still hear a sound on the street, and drifting toward deep currents where everything begins to change. It's in these deeper layers, especially during what's called slow wave sleep or deep sleep, that the real work of restoration begins. In this quiet, slow state, your body does something extraordinary. It starts to mend. This is the time when tissues are repaired, muscles grow stronger, and immune defenses are reinforced. Cells clear away waste and toxins that built up during your day. Growth hormone surges, guiding repairs both large and small. On the neurological side, the brain does its own cleanup, solidifying memories, stabilizing mood, and quietly tidying up any emotional messes left behind by your waking hours. But it gets even more intricate. For a long time, people thought sleep was just about resting the muscles and switching off thought. But the restorative phases, especially slow-wave sleep, deep NREM, or stage 3, and rapid eye movement, REM, sleep, reveal that rest is only part of the story. Your brain is not just idling. It's actually orchestrating essential repairs and recalibrations, almost like a late-night janitorial crew that sweeps up, takes out the emotional trash, and restocks what you'll need for tomorrow. If we look inside, microscopic glial cells in your brain, for example, shrink their size as you sleep. This leaves more room for cerebral fluid to flow and flush out toxins, a phenomenon that may be crucial for long-term brain health. Think about that. Just lying still, you're not wasting time. You're actively allowing your body to press reset in hundreds of hidden ways. Still, the picture isn't just about what happens. It's how much of it happens. Getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep isn't a guarantee that you'll have enough deep or REM sleep. Your body moves in cycles that repeat 4 to 6 times a night, each lasting about 90 minutes. In the first half, your system emphasizes deep, slow-wave sleep, providing the strongest doses of restoration. Later, REM phases get longer, drifting you through dreams and fine emotional tuning. If anything disturbs these cycles, stress, noise, discomfort, or a health condition, the balance tips, making sleep feel lighter and far less restorative. Compare it to recharging a phone. Plug in for a few minutes, and you might see the numbers climb, but only a long, deep charge fills the battery to capacity. Restorative sleep doesn't come from just lying down, but from moving into and through the deeper cycles, the ones your body urgently needs for repair. Signs you aren't getting restorative sleep are easy to spot, but just as easily overlooked. Waking up tired is the most obvious, but others are sneakier. Trouble with memory or focus, irritability, constant low energy, trouble fighting off minor illnesses, or feeling run down even after full nights in bed. So, what shapes the quality of our sleep? There are 3 big forces, all swirling quietly beneath the sheets. First, there's the circadian rhythm, that mysterious body clock ticking just behind your eyes. Shaped by sunrise, sunset, and everything in between, it tells your body when to feel sleepy, when to wake, and sets the pace of nearly every cell. The rise and fall of melatonin, changes in body temperature, and even tiny shifts in hormone levels all flow in time to this internal beat. Second, the quality of those 90-minute cycles matters just as much as the total hours slept. Your body needs to move smoothly from light sleep through deep and into REM, then start again and again, each lap around the circuit refreshing you in a different way. When these cycles are interrupted by stress, caffeine, artificial light, pain, or a condition like sleep apnea, the process is stunted. Your body doesn't get enough time in deep or REM sleep, and you wake up feeling unfinished, like a cake pulled from the oven too soon. Third, there's the landscape of your day. What you eat, how much you move, your stress level, and even how safe or comfortable you feel when you finally lay down. All these things nudge your internal rhythms and set up, or sabotage, the deep restoration you crave. Physical restoration is the most obvious part. Tissues heal, muscles knit back together, the immune system is recalibrated, and the body flushes out molecules that, if left to linger, could eventually do harm. On the mental side, your brain prunes, flickers, and sorts through the day, storing what matters and tossing what doesn't. During REM, it relives, processes, and reimagines the emotional highlights, making sense not just of facts, but of feelings too. But restorative sleep isn't just for the good days. It's how we weather the bad ones too. When you're sick or injured, or have had an emotional blow, recovery is slower or even derailed if you don't spend enough time in those deep, healing layers of sleep. Think about this: cells repairing, toxins being swept away, hormones coming back to balance, mind reshaping messy memories into something manageable, all while you're completely unaware, drifting through the gentle dark. Sleep, in this light, starts to feel less like a gap in our lives and more like the hidden foundation under everything else. And yet, here's the deep, common ache. Restorative sleep slips away so often. Why? Sometimes the answer is brutally simple. Noise, light, screens, worries, or unpredictable schedules interrupt the rhythm. Sometimes it's a health issue or the creeping changes of aging. And sometimes you just can't tell what's in the way. The mystery stays gentle, but persistent, a small grain of longing woven into daily life. Through all this, maybe the most important lesson is this: restorative sleep is not a luxury or a rare reward for the lucky. It's essential. It's a basic act of self-compassion, a fundamental rhythm your body needs, whether you're busy, burdened, excited, afraid, or just plain human like the rest of us. So tonight, as you listen, imagine all of these invisible processes quietly taking care of you. Something is being rebuilt. Hope is taking root. Restorative sleep is the oldest medicine we have. And with each night, no matter how difficult the day before, you get another chance to be gently restored. Let's linger a bit, and in the next part, we'll go deeper into how daily habits, vulnerabilities, and science itself can help or hinder your body's quiet return to wholeness. By now, you might be asking, if restorative sleep is this fundamental, are there ways to actually invite it in? Can we shape our nights so that restoration, not just sleep, is the outcome that greets us in the morning? Let's move gently from the hidden science to practical ground, looking at evidence and wisdom from scientists, doctors, and people like you who simply want to wake up feeling whole again. The fragile architecture of restorative sleep. First, it helps to see sleep not as a single stream, but as a layered structure. Your body moves through different stages during each sleep cycle. Light NREM sleep, deep NREM, N3, slow wave sleep, and REM sleep. While all of these matter, research consistently points to deep, N3, and REM sleep as the true wellsprings of restoration. It's in these stages that the body and mind are rebuilt most fully. But sleep is fragile. A single disruption, a noise, a worry, a shift in temperature, can knock you out of the restorative phases into something lighter, less effective, or fragmented. Sleep fragmentation, the hidden thief. One of the most overlooked enemies of restorative sleep is sleep fragmentation. Those frequent awakenings or microarousals you might not even remember. Research shows that sleep broken in pieces, even if the total hours don't shrink, leaves the brain and body poorly restored. Memory dips, mood sours, and fatigue lingers long after waking up. The main reason? Every time you're jolted from deep or REM sleep, your body loses a vital part of its nightly housekeeping. Metabolic, emotional, and even immune functions can all take a hit with regular disruptions. Think of sleep as a healing process that's interrupted every time someone turns the lights on and off in a hospital room. You might be in bed for 8 hours, but you never give your cells or your mind the uninterrupted time they need to finish the work of restoration. Over time, this can even increase inflammation and raise risks for chronic conditions and cognitive decline, especially as we age. Not all sleep is restorative. What science says. Decades of sleep surveys and neuroscience studies now confirm that sleep duration is only mildly linked to how refreshed you feel. What matters far more is the quality, how long and how deeply you slip into those healing phases, and how undisturbed your cycles are through the night. Measures like feeling ready to start the day or energetic correlate only modestly with sleep length, but much more with the absence of disruption and depth of sleep stages. What steals restorative sleep? You might wonder, what are the main culprits behind poor sleep quality? Some are very common: stress, physical pain, anxiety, and erratic schedules. But the modern world adds a new layer: artificial light, screen time, noise pollution, and the loss of regular sleep routines. For many, meal timing also matters. Studies show that eating large meals too close to bedtime can disrupt your internal clocks and hinder restorative sleep. Alcohol or caffeine late in the day, heavy or spicy food, even bright lights at night. Each of these acts as a subtle interruption, weakening your body's ability to reach those vital stages of deep repair. Inviting more restorative sleep, science-backed steps. So, what can you gently do to tip the odds in your favor? No single ritual works for everyone, but science builds a hopeful map of strategies that any of us can try, with patience and self-kindness at the center. Protect consistency. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, including weekends. Your circadian rhythms love regularity, and keeping a schedule trains your body to transition smoothly through all sleep stages. Wind down with rituals. Before you sleep, try a gentle routine: reading, listening to calming music, herbal tea, or a moment to note down what you're grateful for. Simple habits like putting your phone away and lowering the lights tell your body it's time to power down. Create a sleep-safe space. A cool, dark, and quiet bedroom matters more than you might expect. Blackout curtains, white noise, comfortable bedding, and removing screens from the room can all reduce sleep interruptions. Even small touches, like the scent of lavender on your pillow or a favorite eye mask, can become cues for your mind to let go. Support with movement and sunlight. Regular daytime physical activity, as simple as a short walk, can improve sleep quality and your ability to fall and stay asleep. Morning sunlight, or simply going outdoors during the day, helps reinforce your internal clock. Progressive muscle relaxation, PMR, a gentle practice of tensing and releasing each muscle group before bed, has been shown in recent studies to lengthen periods of deep sleep and reduce nighttime awakenings. Manage stress and thoughts. If worries keep you up, try journaling, mindfulness meditation, or simply acknowledging your concerns and promising yourself you'll return to them tomorrow. Practices like cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, neurofeedback, or working with a professional can help if these thoughts become persistent roadblocks. Rethink naps and caffeine. Short naps can refresh, but long or late afternoon naps might disrupt nighttime cycles. And caffeine, even in the afternoon, can linger in your system for hours, blurring your body's natural drive to enter deep sleep. None of these are magic fixes, but each is a way of caring for the part of you that quietly rebuilds your strength in darkness. Tending to sleep is an act of self-compassion, a nightly vote for tomorrow's clarity, steadiness, and mood. The emotional undercurrent of restorative sleep. Let's pause here and notice something softer, easily missed. Restorative sleep isn't just a biological fact. It's emotional comfort, a sense of being held, even when alone. That sense, the hope of waking up whole, or just slightly more prepared to face whatever comes next, is what draws so many to seek out these stories, to linger for a few extra minutes, to share comments about where and when they watched or listened. If tonight's sleep isn't perfect, tomorrow is another chance. Gentleness, not perfection, helps us recover what routine and busyness steal from us. Even when deep, uninterrupted sleep feels elusive, the simple act of caring about your own rest is a beginning. So as we close this chapter, notice how even small changes in your evening, lowering the lights, leaving your phone outside the bedroom, or spending a few quiet minutes breathing deeply, can form the start of a new story with sleep. Restoration is less a finish line and more a practice, built from patience and hope with each night. When you're ready, we'll step into the next layer of this exploration, the rhythms and science of sleep cycles. In Chapter 2, we'll uncover how each stage builds the full tapestry of sleep, why timing and transitions matter, and how you might gently adjust your habits to invite deeper renewal. Until then, just breathe and rest in the knowledge that the path to restorative sleep starts with curiosity, patience, and a little bit of care. If restorative sleep is the invisible medicine our bodies crave, then sleep cycles are its secret recipe, dozens of ingredients layered and mixed with a precision we rarely see but can absolutely feel. To truly understand why some nights leave us feeling reborn and others broken, we have to step gently into the architecture of sleep. What really happens in the cycles and stages that unfold each night? Why does the body insist on rhythm over sheer length? And how can we notice when that rhythm is disturbed? The sleep cycle, a hidden symphony. Every night, as dusk thickens and sleepiness visits, your brain is quietly winding up one of its most complicated performances. Far from the flat line we imagine sleep to be, it's actually a carefully orchestrated journey through distinct stages, each with its own texture, rules, and purpose. The average sleep cycle lasts between 90 and 120 minutes, with most people experiencing 4 to 5 cycles in a typical night. With each cycle, you drift into different depths, from light sleep to the most profound unconsciousness, before surfacing into a dream-rich REM stage. Then, the process begins again, like a tide that rises and falls until morning. The stages, unfolding the night wakefulness. Every sleep cycle starts with a period of quiet wakefulness as you settle into bed. Your brain shifts from fast, high-frequency beta waves seen during active thought to slower alpha waves, signaling relaxation. This transition opens the first doorway. NREM Stage 1, N1, light sleep. This is the tender edge between waking and sleep, lasting only 1 to 5 minutes. Muscle tone relaxes, eye movement slow, and awareness drifts. You can still be woken easily, and your thoughts may blur into gentle fragments. Some people experience a sensation of falling or sudden muscle twitches here, signaling the body is letting go. NREM Stage 2, N2, true sleep begins. Stage 2 marks a deeper slide away from wakefulness, forming about half of total sleep time. Breathing and heart rate slow, muscles relax further, and your body temperature drops. The brain begins to produce special patterns called sleep spindles and K complexes, which help consolidate memories and protect sleep from disturbance. Your response to outside stimuli dims, and waking now would feel more abrupt. NREM Stage 3, N3. Deep, slow wave sleep. Often called slow wave or delta sleep, Stage 3 is the bedrock of restoration. It's here that your body's most powerful healing occurs. Tissues are repaired, muscles grow, the immune system is fortified, and the mind's clutter gets sorted and pruned. If someone wakes you from this stage, you'll need a moment to orient yourself, and grogginess can linger. This phase reigns in the first few cycles but fades as morning approaches. The fourth stage of the sleep cycle is REM, rapid eye movement, when the brain lights up with activity almost resembling wakefulness. Eyes dart back and forth, most muscles are paralyzed, and dreams become vivid. REM is vital for processing emotions, consolidating memories, and creative problem solving. Though it starts short, REM phases grow longer with each cycle until they dominate the last third of the night. The cycle then returns, moving from REM back to N1, and begins anew. This oscillation between slow, deep healing and bright, active dreaming is foundational. The balance and repetition are key to deep, restorative rest. Why the sequence matters. Imagine sleep as running laps around a track, with recovery stations on the way. You don't just need enough laps, but you need to hit all the stations fully for your body and mind to recover. Missing a station, wake-ups from noise, pain, screens, stress, means lost chances at restoration. People spend about 75% to 80% of their night in NREM sleep, most of it in Stage 2, with 20% to 25% in REM sleep. The exact proportions naturally shift as the night goes on. Early cycles feature more deep, slow wave, sleep, while later cycles favor REM. This matters, especially as deep sleep is most restorative. More of it early on helps physically rebuild, while longer REM later harmonizes mood and memory. Recent research reveals that even subtle shifts in sleep architecture, the way these stages are distributed, predict real, lived experience the next day. Adults who get more deep sleep and REM, even at the expense of light sleep or time awake in bed, report better moods and emotional resilience. For example, if a person reallocates just 30 minutes a night from light sleep to deep slow wave sleep, their positive effect increases the next day. The reverse, losing deep sleep for more light or wakefulness, brings a measurable uptick in negative moods and fatigue. This highlights how sleep cycles and stages are directly linked to well-being beyond just sleeping more. The architecture of sleep changes naturally as we age. Children and teenagers enjoy much more deep sleep, while adults, especially older adults, spend less time in restorative slow-wave sleep and may cycle through lighter stages more frequently. Age also brings more fragmented sleep, shorter overall cycles, and reduced REM duration. This doesn't mean you don't need as much sleep. In fact, preserving slow wave and REM sleep is crucial for repairing body and mind, no matter your age. Medical conditions, pain, medications, and disorders such as sleep apnea or insomnia can disturb these cycles, shortening deep and REM sleep, increasing fragmentation, and greatly reducing sleep's restorative impact. Underneath it all is the circadian rhythm, your internal clock, governed by the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, coordinating hormone release, like melatonin and cortisol, body temperature, and even emotional readiness for sleep. The circadian rhythm marshals each cycle's timing and depth. It's tuned to light and darkness, the patterns of daily life, and can be disrupted by jet lag, irregular schedules, or even too much screen use before bed. When the rhythm is in sync, cycles unfold smoothly and restorative sleep is more likely. When the rhythm is disrupted by late nights, shift work, or stress, cycles can fragment, deep and REM sleep are reduced, and fatigue sets in, regardless of total hours in bed. Sleep cycles are surprisingly personal. Genetics, age, health, stress, and lifestyle all shape whether your cycles are steady, fragmented, or skewed toward lighter sleep. Most adults need 4 to 6 cycles for optimal function, meaning about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Short sleepers may still cycle efficiently if their architecture includes enough deep and REM sleep, while long sleepers may get less restoration if their sleep is fragmented or disrupted. Even pets and infants show unique patterns. Babies cycle every 50 to 60 minutes, while elderly people might experience cycles closer to 80 to 100 minutes. What interrupts sleep cycles? Beyond medical issues, mundane factors loom large. Caffeine too late, excess screen time before bed, emotional stress, noise, and light pollution. All can fragment cycles, reducing deep and REM sleep in measurable ways. The result? Grogginess, mood swings, foggy memory, aches, the familiar echo of sleep that didn't truly restore. Protecting sleep's architecture means guarding those cycles. Gentle routines, regular sleep schedules, minimizing artificial light and noise, and mindful evening habits support the body's ability to cycle deeply, helping you wake up clear instead of clouded. Why sleep cycles matter? Restorative sleep isn't just about hours of sleep. It's about moving smoothly through cycles, spending enough time in both deep, slow-wave sleep and emotionally rich REM. These rhythms, woven into nightly laps through the stages, are what leave us whole, connected, ready for the challenges and mysteries of the day ahead. Tonight, as you nestle in and prepare for rest, know that your body is designed to move through these cycles. It's a quiet miracle, unfolding again and again, shaping every morning that follows. In the next section, we'll look even more closely at how habits, routines, and choices can gently reshape these cycles, helping you invite deeper, uninterrupted sleep and true morning renewal. Let's pause and notice how the rhythm of sleep cycles can be surprisingly tender, so easily shaped and sometimes undone by what happens in the hours before bed. As we dig deeper into the nightly journey, science, and the stories of thousands who chase better sleep, show us that even small choices can ripple across the architecture of our rest. Everyday routines matter. The hour you eat dinner, the stretch of light before sleep, and that last scroll on your phone, all are signals broadcast to your body's internal clock. When these habits line up with natural circadian cues, dimming the lights, quieting your thoughts, calming your breath, sleep cycles unfold with more certainty, giving slow wave and REM stages room to do their work. But when habits send mixed signals, bright screens at midnight, caffeine late in the day, worries carried to the pillow, the result is plasticity gone astray. Your clock is left guessing, and the cycles you depend on for restoration start to splinter and fray. Evening exercise, for instance, can boost deep sleep if finished early enough, but push it close to bedtime, and heighten body temperature or adrenaline can delay the plunge into slow-wave sleep. On the flip side, even a 10-minute walk after dinner, paired with low lighting and gentle conversation, can nudge your body into harmony with the unfolding architecture of rest. For many, the secret to better sleep cycles lies in gentle transition rituals. Those small, personal acts signaling to body and mind that it's safe to let go. Studies suggest these wind-down routines, like reading fiction, sipping herbal tea, or practicing slow breathing, shape the way your nervous system approaches sleep. They reduce stress, quiet the production of stimulating hormones, and create a sense of emotional safety. The result? Smoother transitions into NREM and REM, fewer awakenings, and a higher likelihood of waking up genuinely restored. It's not about perfection or even consistency every night. What matters is tending to the pattern, making the approach to sleep kind, patient, and unhurried. Over weeks and months, these gentle signals train your rhythm so that even on anxious or busy nights, your body remembers what it feels like to rest deeply. Chronic stress can deeply disrupt sleep architecture, regardless of what else you do. High cortisol and adrenaline, even at bedtime, fragment cycles and rob us of deep sleep. Tools for managing day and evening stress, mindfulness, talking with a friend, stretching, simple gratitude lists become essential. Age and certain health issues also shift the map. Older adults are prone to lighter, more interrupted sleep, yet routines, environment, and nighttime comfort can still protect the vital slow wave stages. Pain, medications, and medical conditions, sleep apnea, insomnia, anxiety, may call for specialized support, sometimes medical, sometimes behavioral, always gentle. It's tempting to wind down with a glass of wine or by streaming a favorite show. But evidence points to both alcohol and screens as stealthy saboteurs of sleep architecture. Alcohol may help you relax, but it fragments cycles, blocks REM, and leaves your brain working harder to find deep sleep. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, making it harder to fall and stay asleep. If you can, shift these pleasures earlier and turn the last 30 minutes before bed into a screen-free, quiet ritual. Tiny intentional changes like these can be enough to let your cycles unfold naturally. As you close out each day, try this gentle practice. Notice what sends you toward deeper sleep and what leaves you restless. Did worries chase you to bed? Did you notice your mind racing or your body tense? Were your last waking moments filled with connection or rushing? Jot down a few observations, not as criticism, but as a kindness to your future self. Over time, patterns emerge, and you'll see which habits help your cycles unfold, and which might need gentle adjustment. The goal isn't perfection, but creating a bedroom space and evening rhythm where sleep has the best chance to do its restorative work. The best clues to your sleep cycles may be how you feel upon waking. Not just whether you're alert, but how steady your mood, memory, and physical energy seem to be. If you find exhaustion lurking, ask yourself if your sleep was fragmented, whether external factors disturbed you, or whether you slipped through the deep and REM cycles as needed. Over weeks, tracking these clues can guide you toward adjustment. If mornings bring clarity and comfort, thank your previous night cycles. If not, try shifting one small habit at a time. Even minor changes often lead to deeper, more predictable rhythms. We've journeyed through the choreography of sleep cycles and the small choices that nudge them in the right direction. As dusk returns each day, you're never truly alone in this ongoing puzzle. The rhythms of sleep connect us all, quietly echoing from bedroom to bedroom, city to city. In the next chapter, we'll step deeper into the world of sleep disorders and common disruptions, the unseen obstacles that can unbalance cycles and leave even the best intentions unmet. We'll meet sleep apnea, insomnia, restless legs, and the everyday anxieties that keep so many awake. But throughout, we'll return to curiosity, kindness, and the comfort of shared experience. Until then, treat tonight's rhythm as a gentle companion. The cycles of sleep are always ready to unfold again. Rest well. Sleep seems so simple from the outside. Close your eyes, drift away, wake up refreshed. But for millions of people, something gets in the way. Nights become battlegrounds, and mornings arrive wrapped in fatigue. To truly understand why you can do everything right and still wake up tired, we have to shine a gentle light on sleep disorders, the quiet obstacles to the restful nights so many of us crave. More than 80 identified sleep disorders affect people across all ages and walks of life. Their symptoms range widely: trouble falling and staying asleep, insomnia, problems with excessive sleepiness, like narcolepsy, to disruptive movements, restless leg syndrome, and behaviors, parasomnias like sleepwalking, that fracture the night. Some, like sleep apnea, interrupt breathing dozens or hundreds of times per night, measured in microarousals that often go unnoticed but accumulate as exhaustion. Disorders can be grouped into three broad categories: difficulty falling or staying asleep, insomnia, delayed sleep phase disorder, disturbances occurring during sleep itself, sleep-related movement disorders, parasomnias, excessive daytime sleepiness, narcolepsy, sleep apnea, hypersomnia. Let's walk through the major players, gently but clearly, to see how they block the path to restorative sleep, and what signs to watch for if you suspect one is affecting you. Insomnia is the most common sleep disorder, affecting up to a third of adults at some point in their lives. It can mean difficulty falling asleep, waking often through the night, waking too early, or feeling unrest despite hours in bed. Research reveals that insomnia is often fueled by hyperarousal, the mind and body stuck in a ready state, unable to fully surrender to sleep. Those prone to insomnia tend to be sensitive to stress and have brain circuits that are overactive in regulating vigilance, even during REM sleep. It's as if the brain is sleeping with one eye open, robbing us of true rest. Genetics, life events, and emotional distress all play a role. But a key feature is this persistent sense that deep sleep is just out of reach. What does insomnia feel like? Many describe it as a cycle of worry. The harder you try to sleep, the less likely it comes. The next day, mood sours, memory fogs, and even small setbacks feel heavier. Over time, chronic insomnia raises risk for depression, anxiety, and other health issues. Signs your tiredness is linked to insomnia: trouble drifting off, frequent unwanted awakenings, lying awake worrying, waking too early, and feeling unrest despite trying to sleep enough. Obstructive sleep apnea, OSA, is a disorder where the airway repeatedly collapses during sleep, causing periods when breathing briefly stops, sometimes hundreds of times a night. Each apnea or hyponia triggers microarousals, short bursts of wakefulness as your brain tries to restore breathing. These events rarely wake you fully, but are enough to shatter deep in REM sleep, preventing full restoration. People with sleep apnea may snore loudly, gasp, or choke in their sleep, and feel intense sleepiness during the day, even if they don't remember awakening. OSA is more common in people who are overweight, have anatomical airway differences, or certain health conditions. Beyond fatigue, untreated sleep apnea can raise blood pressure, strain the heart, and impair cognition. Yet it's often missed, especially in people who are otherwise healthy. Signs your fatigue may be sleep apnea, loud snoring, gasping, pauses in breathing, often noticed by partners, morning headaches, dry mouth, and severe daytime sleepiness. Restless leg syndrome disrupts sleep by triggering an irresistible need to move the legs, often paired with uncomfortable sensations. Symptoms are worst in the evening or during rest, leading to fragmentation of sleep and sudden awakenings. Up to 10% of adults may experience RLS, and it's often worse as people age. Many with RLS also have periodic limb movements during sleep, brief, repetitive muscle jerks that further fracture slow wave in REM sleep. The result is frequent microarousals and inefficient rest. RLS can be independent or linked to other issues: iron deficiency, nerve disorders. Daytime fatigue, difficulty focusing, and low mood are common consequences. Signs your tiredness is linked to RLS, discomfort, and urge to move legs at night. Symptoms relieve with movement, frequent nighttime awakenings, difficulty staying asleep, fatigue during the day. Parasomnias bring odd behaviors and movements during sleep, sleepwalking, sleep talking, sleep terrors, REM sleep behavior disorder, where dreams are acted out, and even sleep-related eating disorder. These events disrupt normal sleep architecture, causing unpredictable awakenings and poor cycle progression. While not always remembered, parasomnias can significantly reduce sleep quality, particularly if frequent. The causes: genetics, environment, stress, and sometimes other sleep disorders. Most parasomnias are more common in children, but some persist into adulthood or emerge later in life. Signs your tiredness is linked to parasomnias: unusual nighttime actions noticed by others, unexplained injuries, missing food or items, frequent transitions from sleep to wakefulness, confusion upon waking. Circadian rhythm sleep-wake disorders occur when your internal clock isn't aligned with external reality, like in shift work, jet lag, or conditions such as delayed sleep phase syndrome and advanced sleep phase syndrome. The result is trouble falling asleep, waking at wrong times, and often poor sleep quality. Regular sleep routines are shattered, pushing deep and REM sleep off course. In these disorders, even if you spend enough time in bed, the cycles are misaligned, meaning restoration doesn't happen as efficiently. Bright light therapy, melatonin, and careful routine management can help some realign their rhythms, but many struggle for years. Signs your tiredness is linked to circadian disruption: inability to fall asleep before late night, waking up unusually late, strong sleepiness at inappropriate hours, fatigue and brain fog when forced to keep a typical schedule. Narcolepsy is characterized by extreme daytime sleepiness, sudden loss of muscle tone, cataplexy, hallucinations during sleep-wake transitions, and sleep paralysis. People with narcolepsy enter REM sleep quickly and unpredictably, but their cycles are fragmented, and deep sleep is often reduced. Micro-sleeps and abrupt awakenings are common, making daily life a struggle. Hypersomnia is a broad category referring to excessive sleepiness despite extended sleep duration. It can be primary or secondary to other medical issues, including depression or neurological illness. Quality, not quantity, remains the core problem. Not all sleep disruptions result in full awakenings. Microarousals, bursts of brief 3 to 15 seconds, wakefulness visible on EEG, are common in sleep disorders and even healthy sleepers. In OSA, RLS, or parasomnias, microarousals multiply, breaking restorative slow wave and REM sleep into fragments, often with no direct memory of awakening. Even mild sleep restriction increases microarousals, leading to reduced alertness and more negative mood the next day. Microarousal count and duration relate to shifting effect and attention, but these brief events, when frequent, add up over nights and weeks, eroding the deep sense of restoration we seek. Sleep and mental health are entwined. A bad night can worsen anxiety and depression, while anxiety and depression themselves disrupt sleep cycles. Chronic sleep disorders raise risk for mood and cognitive issues, cardiovascular problems, obesity, and other illnesses. Inflammation rises, memory suffers, and energy crashes become routine. The cycle repeats. Worry disrupts sleep, and poor sleep worsens worry. If you recognize your life in these descriptions, the path forward is not one of blame, but gentle curiosity and practical support. Keeping a sleep diary, tracking symptoms, sleep timing, and awakenings can help. Many sleep disorders require specialized diagnosis, like overnight sleep studies, polysomnography for apnea, or limb movement monitoring for RLS. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBTI, is the gold standard for insomnia, positive airway pressure for apnea, iron supplementation or medication for RLS. Chronotherapy, bright light exposure, and medication can help circadian rhythm issues, while narcolepsy often requires stimulant or REM-modifying treatments. Most importantly, remember, even the toughest sleep disorders are common, treatable, and approached best with self-compassion and professional support. Intervening at the source can transform mornings from unending fatigue to clarity and hope. This chapter has walked through the shadows of sleep problems, those hidden blocks that make even long hours in bed fail to restore. If you find yourself part of this story, know that you are not alone. Sleep disorders are not failures, and seeking help is a gentle act of self-respect. Modern science, therapy, and community offer paths to relief. The first step is tuning into your own experience, curiosity, and care rather than criticism. In the push and pull of sleep disorders, it's easy to forget that restoration is always possible. The next chapter leads us onward. How diagnosis, support, and small changes can begin to heal broken sleep, rebuild cycles, and gently invite the restful mornings each of us deserves. So if you're seeking better sleep, take heart. Compassionate science, smart routines, and hope will guide us as we move forward together. If you've made your way through restless nights and sleep disruptions, the question now is, can healing begin? Science offers encouragement, a path of techniques, routines, and compassion proven to help even the most stubborn sleep concerns. This chapter is an invitation into that gentle process, discovering what restores sleep night after night, and how each small change builds toward real renewal. Sleep hygiene means shaping your habits, routines, and bedroom environment so that good sleep becomes easy, not a battle. Think of it as brushing your teeth, simple, repeatable, and powerful against creeping fatigue. Sleep hygiene isn't one size fits all, but the principles are clear and supported by decades of research. Stick to a consistent schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Yes, even weekends. This anchors your circadian rhythms, helping your body anticipate sleep and wakefulness in reliable cycles. Create a gentle bedtime routine. Transition into sleep with ritual, dimming lights, a warm shower, gentle stretching, reading, or listening to calm music. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. Their blue light suppresses the release of melatonin and can delay deep sleep. Optimize your bedroom. Cool temperatures, about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius or 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, blackout curtains, and noise reduction create a sleep sanctuary. Use your bed only for sleep and intimacy. Avoid work, screens, or stressful conversations in bed. Daytime habits matter. Get regular sunlight exposure, especially in the morning, to set your internal clock. Moderate physical activity, preferably not within 2 hours of bedtime, improves sleep depth and quality. Avoid caffeine after midday, limit alcohol and nicotine, and try not to eat heavy meals late at night. Short naps, if any. Naps can refresh, but keep them brief, around 20 minutes, and avoid napping late in the day. Sleep hygiene alone can transform mild sleep problems and reinforce every other intervention, from therapy to medication. For persistent or chronic insomnia, the gold standard, first-line intervention is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI. Unlike sleeping pills, which mask symptoms, CBTI's goal is to retrain your mind and body to cooperate with natural sleep processes. It blends education, practical techniques, and gentle challenge to unhelpful habits, and has been shown effective for all ages, including adolescents and older adults. CBT's main pillars: stimulus control, Restrict bed to sleep only. Get up if unable to sleep after 20 minutes. Do a quiet activity, then return to bed. This breaks the association between bed and insomnia. Sleep restriction. Temporarily limit time in bed to match actual sleep time, then gradually expand as sleep improves. This increases sleep pressure and improves sleep efficiency. Cognitive restructuring. Identify and gently challenge negative thoughts. I'll never sleep well again, that worsen anxiety and hyperarousal. Replace them with supportive, realistic beliefs. Relaxation training. Progressive muscle relaxation, mindfulness, deep breathing, and gentle visualization all help calm mind and body before bed. Education. Demystify sleep cycles, stress management, and normal variations in sleep. CBTI is highly effective, even compared to medication, with fewer side effects and longer-lasting benefits. Digital CBTI platforms now make therapy more accessible than ever. Often paired with CBTI or used on its own, sleep hygiene education is recommended as a first-line, non-pharmacological step for sleep initiation and maintenance insomnia. This isn't rigid rules, but gentle, practical tweaks in the routines you already have. Gradual wind down. Choose calming evening activities, journaling, meditation, gentle yoga, or quiet reading. Limit late food and drinks. Reduce alcohol and caffeine intake, especially after midday, and steer clear of heavy, spicy meals before sleep. Track progress. Keep a sleep diary. Note bedtime, wake time, sleep quality, and habits. Patterns help you and providers spot what's working. Personalize your strategy. Adapt tips to fit your personality and life. The smallest change, gray out curtains, morning walks, relaxing playlists, may have outsized effects. For sleep disorders like obstructive sleep apnea, restless legs, and narcolepsy, medical and behavioral treatments are essential. Always consult a sleep medicine provider before starting or changing medication. Common treatments include sleep apnea, continuous positive airway pressure, CPAP, therapy or oral devices to maintain an open airway, RLS, iron supplementation, if low, medication, and lifestyle changes to reduce symptoms. Circadian rhythm disorders, light therapy, melatonin, timing is critical, structured routines, and sometimes medication. Narcolepsy, targeted medications, scheduled naps, and strong sleep hygiene. Advances in treatments, like orexin receptor antagonists for insomnia, limberexant, suvorexant, and new behavioral tools, offer more options with fewer side effects. Lifestyle tweaks are surprisingly powerful for sleep. Regular exercise, ideally earlier in the day, deepens sleep. Light exposure, especially the first thing in the morning, helps anchor circadian rhythms. Mind your evening. Reduce light and screen use. Save important conversations or challenging tasks for daytime, and gently lead the mind toward rest. Social and emotional well-being. Connection, meaning, and manage stress filter directly into better sleep. Consider therapy for ongoing anxiety, depression, or trauma that fragments sleep. Gentle practices like progressive muscle relaxation, PMR, mindfulness meditation, and soothing music are proven to deepen sleep, especially critical for slow-wave, delta, stages. PMR, for example, increases deep sleep even during short naps and supports better attention, creativity, and mood the next day. Try best to build these into your nightly wind down. Even 5 minutes can help. When sleep won't heal on its own, reaching out for help is an act of self-respect. See a sleep medicine provider or mental health professional if sleep problems persist for weeks, you snore loudly, gasp at night, or feel exhausted daily. Mood, focus, or health suffer due to poor sleep. Unusual behaviors occur at night, sleepwalking, eating, acting out dreams. Diagnosis may involve sleep studies, simple blood tests, or a detailed sleep diary. Treatment is layered: lifestyle, therapy, medication, technology, all guided by your experience and preferences. If sleep once felt stubborn or unreachable, you're not alone. Decades of research and clinical experience show that most people, no matter their age, health, or past, can reclaim better sleep. Healing is rarely instant, but is always possible with patience, small steady changes, and gentle support. The journey to better sleep is not about perfection. There will be nights when rest comes easily, and others when it slips away. The trick is consistency, self-compassion, and curiosity. Treat each night as practice, not proof of failure, but of care. Try this gentle nighttime meditation. Tonight, let each habit be a kindness to your future self. Each wind-down step a tender offer of rest. Each routine a soft nudge toward healing. Breathe gently. Know your progress. Forgive missteps. Sleep is resilient, and so are you. We've mapped out the landscape of healing sleep: routines, therapy, medical support, and lifestyle change. But there's one dimension left to explore: the mysterious world of dreams and memory, and how sleep doesn't just patch the body, but also rebuilds who we are. In the next chapter, we'll wander into the nightly theater of dreams, learning how sleep shapes memory, emotion, and imagination, helping us awaken whole. For now, try one small step tonight, and trust the process of gentle, persistent renewal. Sleep is so much more than a passive escape. It's a stage where our brains perform some of their most vital, hidden work. Every night, as you drift through cycles of light, deep, and rapid movement, REM, sleep, your mind quietly sorts, integrates, and remakes the memories and emotions woven into the fabric of your days. The world of dreams, sometimes vivid, bizarre, and intimate, stand at the crossroads of memory and emotional healing. When neuroscientists study the sleeping brain, they see an intricate choreography rather than silence. Much of what matters for memory happens not in waking, but in sleep. As you fall asleep, the hippocampus, your brain's memory hub, and the neocortex begin interacting in a pattern essential for memory consolidation. The process of stabilizing and integrating new information so it lasts beyond today. In NREM sleep, especially slow-wave stages, your brain reactivates recent experiences, rehearsing and embedding them within networks of older knowledge. Later, during REM sleep, memories are integrated with emotion and context, helping the brain extract meaning, connect ideas, and sometimes let go of what's no longer vital. Dreams mirror these inner workings. They are not literal recordings. Instead, they're more like collages, fragments of memory mingling with impressions, fears, and wishes. Sleep studies reveal that the content of dreams frequently draws from recent learning, emotional experiences, and even creative puzzles faced during the day. But rarely are dreams straightforward. Memory is transformed, compressed, and mixed with subconscious emotion, offering glimpses into how your mind adapts and makes sense of life's immense flow. It's in REM sleep, especially, that the drama of emotional regulation unfolds. The limbic system, including the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm, is highly active in these moments. Meanwhile, levels of stress hormones like cortisol subtly rise, modulating the way emotional memories are processed. Sleep, and dreaming most of all, serves to turn down the volume on the roughest emotions. During REM, your brain often revisits emotionally charged memories, especially those that are unresolved, and replays them in reduced intensity. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for reasoning and impulse control, connects more strongly with emotional centers, smoothing out heightened reactions and helping you wake with greater resilience and stability. Chronic sleep deprivation, by contrast, leaves these circuits overactive and unmanaged. Mood swings intensify, stress rises, empathy can fade, and even small problems feel overwhelming. In this light, restful nights emerge as a primary tool for emotional recovery, not a luxury, but a necessity for our well-being. Not only does sleep support emotional healing, it's vital for learning and memory. Countless studies show that both declarative memory, facts and events, and procedural skills, how to ride a bike or play piano, depend on sleep for their transition from short-term to long-term storage. During deep sleep, new information is rehearsed and woven into existing networks. But REM, with its intense brain activity, is particularly important for the creative linking of ideas. This not only ensures memories retain accuracy, but also helps you draw connections and discover insights, a phenomenon sometimes evident in aha moments upon waking. Perhaps you've experienced studying before bed and finding things are clearer next morning, or you've solved a stubborn problem in your dreams. Science shows this isn't just chance. Some of the world's greatest discoveries and inventions began in dreams. Sleep's letting go of rigid logic, especially during REM, allows for unusual, novel combinations of ideas, sometimes so strange they seem meaningless, but other times revealing profound truths. Studies find that people woken from REM sleep are far more likely to show flexible thinking and solve creative tasks compared to those woken from other stages, or who simply stay awake. It's in these moments that your brain, free from the constraints of everyday logic, reorganizes information and tests new combinations, which can lead to creative breakthroughs and fresh perspectives the next day. Dreams are not always pleasant. In fact, negative emotions, anxiety, fear, sadness appear more frequently in dreams than positive ones. But this isn't a flaw. It's part of sleep's quiet strategy for emotional regulation. By revisiting stressful events in reduced intensity, dreams help detox your emotional brain, lowering sensitivity and paving the way for recovery. Research points to a link between troubled dreaming, including nightmares, and unresolved waking stress, trauma, or anxiety. In these cases, dreams might serve as attempts by the brain to process and lay to rest some rough experiences. That's why regular, sufficient, undisturbed sleep often helps people manage even heavy emotions and begin to feel better over time. Interrupting REM sleep, as can occur with certain medications, sleep disorders like apnea or chronic stress, can be surprisingly disruptive. People deprived of REM show heightened emotional reactivity, difficulty regulating their moods, and reduced capacity for adaptive learning. Emotional memories linger, stress hormones stay elevated, and creativity diminishes. For people struggling with mental health concerns, sleep, especially REM, may be one of the most critical avenues for healing. One fascinating puzzle is why most people forget so much of their dreams. Theory suggests that the neurobiology of sleep naturally prioritizes the integration of memories rather than their vivid recall. Dreaming transfers fragments to deeper storage but leaves little explicit trace. Only dreams occurring at the edge of wakefulness are commonly remembered, and even then, only briefly. This apparent forgetfulness is evidence of the brain's focus, helping you process, learn, and regulate, not constructing a conscious archive of the night's stories. Sleep's role expands beyond textbook learning. It enhances focus, judgment, social skills, and emotional flexibility, qualities needed for thriving, not just surviving. Through dreams, the brain practices scenarios, rewrites emotional responses, and sometimes comes to terms with old wounds. This rehearsal isn't always conscious, but it is deeply adaptive. Chronic sleep loss erodes these benefits, heightening irritability and clouding judgment. Adolescents and children show especially strong links between sleep and learning. Their brains are rapidly building networks and pruning unnecessary connections. In adulthood and aging, sleep remains essential for memory, wisdom, and perspective, supporting lifelong development. A good night's sleep isn't just about not feeling tired. It's about awakening whole, emotionally steady, able to learn and adapt, open to creative possibilities. Dreams, with all their chaos and wonder, are part of that renewal. Through sleep, you gain emotional resilience for the day's challenges, clearer memory and sharper insight, improved learning, problem solving, and creativity, enhanced mood and social connection. Prioritizing restful, undisturbed sleep is one of the most powerful habits for supporting brain health and emotional well-being. All these benefits rely on practical steps. Practicing good sleep hygiene, treating medical or emotional disorders, attending to stress, and appreciating the invisible work happening each night. If challenges persist, professional support, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, medication adjustments, or lifestyle changes, can often restore balance. When you wake in the morning, you may not remember every dream, but your mind has been at work, organizing, refueling, healing, and preparing you for the complexities of real life. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you are entering the world's oldest classroom, the place where memory and emotion quietly come together. Every cycle through the stages of sleep is an investment in renewal, learning, and creative possibility. In the next chapter, we'll bring sleep science down to earth, exploring how culture, relationships, and the challenges of daily life shape our sleep and why modern habits sometimes get in the way. We'll consider how to build a life that honors sleep's importance and how to adapt if circumstances make rest elusive. Until then, remember, your dreams are working for you, quietly, every night. Sleep, at its core, is both biological and profoundly social. It is shaped not only by our inner rhythms and needs, but by the world we build around us, the culture we inherit, the habits we forge, the lights that illuminate our nights, and the relationships that fill or empty our lives. No matter how sound our knowledge or intentions, modernity offers powerful currents tugging us away from restful nights. This final chapter explores these collective forces, how lifestyle, technology, work, society, and even the warmth or chill of human connection all leave their mark on our sleep. The modern age of disrupted sleep. Look around and you'll see a paradox. Never has science known so much about sleep, and never have so many people struggled to get enough of it. Our ancestors, governed by sun and season, leaned into darkness, rest, and simplicity at night. In contrast, modern life demands and dazzles, a 24/7 society where the clock never stops, and neither do most of us. Extended work hours, night shifts, commutes, constant digital connectivity, and access to entertainment at every hour all push sleep further down our list of priorities. The result is an epidemic not just of sleep loss, but of sleep pushed out of sync with natural circadian rhythms. Studies reveal that chronic insufficient sleep is now a major public health concern, raising risks of everything from obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and depression to workplace accidents and economic loss. Sleep's erosion is not only measured in hours missed. It is seen in the decline of sleep quality. More light sleep, less deep and REM sleep, and more frequent disruptions. Technology and the tyranny of blue light. Perhaps the most transformative force in our lives is technology. Glowing screens, phones, tablets, TVs, laptops emit blue light that powerfully affects the brain. This wavelength suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells us it's time to wind down, delaying sleep onset and shifting circadian rhythms later into the night. Technology's effects are neither trivial nor benign. Studies confirm that evening or nighttime screen time is linked to longer time to fall asleep, shorter sleep duration, lower sleep quality, more frequent awakenings, daytime fatigue, and inattention. It isn't only the light. Engaging content keeps brains keyed up. Social media, games, and online conversations can increase arousal, worry, or comparison. Technology may even eat into sleep as a coping strategy for stress. The endless scroll becoming both a symptom and a cause of poor sleep. Shift work and the circadian challenge. Modern economies require workers around the clock. More than 20% of workers in many countries now work regular night, evening, or rotating shifts. This schedule puts societal need at odds with biology. Human circadian rhythms are tightly linked to light and dark, and shifting the timing of sleep and wakefulness by even a few hours throws these systems into confusion. Shift workers consistently show difficulty falling asleep and frequent awakenings, shorter and lighter sleep, more sleep disorders, fatigue, and chronic disease. Night shift is uniquely difficult. Even after years, most workers' inner clocks never fully adapt. Internal desynchronization develops, not just with day/night cycles, but among bodily systems, raising risks for metabolic, cardiovascular, mood, and even cancer outcomes. Jet lag, though temporary, shares this same physiological disruption. Social relationships, sleep's hidden network. Sleep does not just happen in a vacuum. Our relationships, supportive or stressful, have measurable, profound effects on how well we sleep. Multiple studies show that supportive ties, friends, family, close partners, promote better sleep quality. Aversive or stressful ties, unhealthy conflict, loneliness, worry, predict poorer sleep quality and more disturbances. Ambivalent or indifferent ties tend to have little effect. Close, trusting relationships buffer the stress responses that keep us awake. Love and companionship promote feelings of safety and relaxation, supporting deeper and more continuous sleep, especially when lived as daily experience rather than rare exceptions. Persistent loneliness or conflict, by contrast, leaves the body on alert, heightening arousal that makes restful sleep elusive. Culture is the silent architect of our nights. Some societies prioritize rest, midday naps, or extended sleep routines within the shape of the day. Others place productivity and constant availability above all else. Western, industrialized cultures, especially in urban areas, often treat sleep as expendable or even a sign of laziness. Long commutes, long hours, and pressure to be digitally present edge out sleep at every turn. In cross-cultural studies, social norms around bedtime, napping, household routine, family involvement, and privacy all shape patterns of sleep and its quality. Communal or supportive structures buffer against the isolation of poor sleep, while individualistic or high-stress cultures may magnify vulnerability to exhaustion. More subtle forces also matter. A lifestyle rich in regular movement and healthy nutrition is protective. Consistent exercise, anytime except late evening, is linked to deeper sleep and fewer awakenings. Being outdoors in natural light, even briefly, helps keep the body clock on track. Yet, unhealthy habits, fast food, processed snacks, large meals late at night, are tied to worsened sleep duration and quality. So are the familiar culprits: caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine. Each targets sleep in a unique way. Caffeine blocks sleep pressure and can fragment sleep even hours after consumption. Alcohol may make falling asleep easier, but disrupts deep sleep and REM as it is metabolized. Nicotine is a stimulant, increasing overnight arousal and lightening sleep. Regular consumption of these substances, especially in the late day or evening, sets people up for restless, non-restorative nights. Modern work demands, longer hours, job insecurity, time pressure, information overload, are among the strongest predictors of short sleep and persistent tiredness. Financial worries and job-related stress are intimately tied to difficulty both falling and staying asleep. The on-demand economy and after-hours connectivity further blur the line between work and rest, shrinking time reserved for recovery. These pressures are not individual failings, but systemic realities. On a population level, chronic sleep loss leads to decreased productivity, more mistakes and accidents, and greater risk of illness. It also has real economic impact, with countries losing billions due to inadequate rest among workers, students, and families. The consequences ripple far beyond next-day drowsiness. Poor or insufficient sleep raises risks for obesity, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular problems, and impaired immunity. Cognition suffers. Attention, judgment, memory, and emotional control all erode in the setting of chronic sleep loss. Over time, these deficits accumulate, increasing individual and collective vulnerability. Vulnerable groups, shift workers, low-income individuals, those with limited access to safe, cool, and quiet sleep environments, bear a disproportionate burden, with barriers that are structural, not merely personal choices. This echoes a public health call. Improving sleep is not just an individual matter, but a collective challenge for families, communities, policymakers, and workplaces. What can actually make a difference? Both small steps and wide changes have real power. Promoting sleep-friendly policies, later school start times, healthy work hour regulations, and limiting mandatory overtime all support sleep on a societal level. Urban design for sleep, reducing noise/light pollution, ensuring affordable housing with healthy sleep environments, and encouraging green space all matter. Access to education and health care. Communities with greater health literacy and access to care are better equipped to manage sleep disorders and make informed lifestyle choices. Social connection. Community programs, support networks, and inclusive environments help reduce loneliness and stress, both critical for restorative sleep. Tech literacy and boundaries. Teaching healthy digital habits, blue light blocking, digital downtime, screen-free bedrooms, empowers people to reclaim nights for rest, not just stimulation. Workplace culture change. Employers that value healthy sleep, rest breaks, flexibility, limiting night shift rotation, see less burnout and higher productivity. For many, these solutions feel far away, especially when facing non-negotiable work shifts, family chaos, insecurity, or relentless societal pressure. In those moments, self-compassion is a necessity, not a luxury. While you may not be able to change your whole environment, small acts of care, protecting your hour before bed, seeking supportive relationships, limiting evening technology, can build a buffer, however thin, against the storm. Tracking your habits, recognizing patterns, and forgiving imperfect nights all matter in this landscape. Most of all, recognize that the struggle to sleep is, at heart, a human challenge. Modernity has pushed us to new heights, but every advance comes with invisible side effects. Your body's longing for sleep is never weakness, but ancient wisdom folded into every cell. When you create a sleep sanctuary, reach out for help, or even just pause to breathe at bedtime, you are part of a bigger movement, quietly resisting a sleepless world in favor of healing and rest. This exploration of modern life, culture, and sleep reveals that our nights are not isolated. They are vivid, dynamic tapestries spun from biology, technology, society, and heart. The science is clear. Sleep is essential but fragile, intertwined with every challenge and joy we carry. We have wandered together through the mystery of why so many of us wake up tired, searching for answers in science, habits, dreams, and the quiet tangle of our modern lives. If sleep sometimes slips away, or restoration feels elusive even after long hours in bed, know you are not alone. These are questions that echo from bedroom to bedroom all over the world. But maybe, after all these chapters, the greatest comfort isn't a perfect solution. It's the understanding that tiredness isn't proof of failure or a flaw to fix, but an understandable response to the swirl of biology, emotion, and a world that rarely rests. Your body asks only for gentle care and patience. Each night is a new invitation to try one small change, to forgive an imperfect routine, to welcome whatever rest comes. Take a moment tonight as you lay down. Notice your breath, the way your body feels against the mattress, and let go of the urge to judge how you will sleep. Let bedtime become a practice in kindness, not just a strategy for tomorrow's energy. If you find comfort in knowing that others, too, drift through the same questions, let that sense of quiet company bring relief and belonging. If you're still awake, remember, your worth is never measured by your rest or your alertness. Each morning is another chance for patience with yourself and the world. The journey towards restorative sleep, like any path of healing, is not linear. It is enough to walk it gently, one night at a time. Thank you for joining me in this search for understanding and rest. May your next sleep, whenever it comes, be as comforting as a good friend at your side.